All right, hey, good morning, y'all. Hey, I wanted to welcome Honolulu music artist Jehzan Exclusive to the show. Jehzan, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Yo, thank you, Romello. I'm happy to be here, cuz.
Yeah, I got you up early on a Saturday, so I apologize, but I appreciate you
Okay,
making
I'm
the
up early
time.
anyway. I wake up early, be a champion.
Yeah. Hey, so hey, let's start with just having you introduce yourself, telling the people who you are and what you do for music.
So, my name is Jehzan Exclusive. I'm a hip hop artist born and raised here in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm a third generation Filipino kid out here.
Yep.
And I grew up all over Oahu, but I claim a few towns as kind of like my hometowns. But I would have to say my original hometown is Eva Beach. So I'm just, Bretman Rock's cousin and stuff. I'm just joking. I'm not.
I was like, are you really? That's awesome.
I'm just saying that, I feel like I'm in line with him.
Yeah. Hey, super cool. Where's your family originally from in the Philippines?
Thanks for asking. So on my dad's side, uh, both of my parents are what is called like ethnically Ilocano.
Okay.
My father was born in Davao City, which is in Mindanao, which is in
Yeah. Whoa.
Visayan speaking area.
Way south.
So yeah, but he's Ilocano. I don't know what, but I guess my grandparents on my dad's side, they were like teachers and pastors and stuff. So they kind of moved around a lot. Also, poor and probably just hustling.
Yeah.
So,
Heck yeah.
anyways, they made their way, I think, from Pangasinan, which is where my dad's mom is from.
Yep.
Uh, they- my dad grew up in Davao till he was about 7, 8 years old, and then he moved to Hawaii with his family.
Awesome. You still speak any of the dialects in the Philippines, or can you
No,
understand?
honestly, I don't. I mean, I hate to say it, but growing up, I guess you could like, I guess the layman's term for it is like whitewashed a little bit.
Okay.
I'm third generation, so like the language got spoken to my parents, but my parents didn't speak it to like me and my siblings necessarily. So
Yep.
kind of got lost. But on my mom's side, uh, my grandparents are from Ilocos Norte. So my
Yeah.
grandma on my mom's side is from Batak, Ilocos Norte, and then my grandfather is from Claveria. So again, they're both ethnically Ilocano, but my dad kind of claims like Visayan too a little bit. So
Got
because
to
that's the
represent.
language he spoke. But yeah, but by the time like my grandparents immigrated here and had my mom and stuff, like it wasn't passed down to me. So long
Yeah.
story short, like no, I don't. But
Yeah.
I've been on my own journey. You probably hear it in my
Yeah.
music and stuff. Finding my own identity as a Filipino. So yeah,
Yeah.
Filipino kid from Hawaii, Eva Beach.
That's right. Yeah, no, and that's what I love about your music. You're so culturally aware.
Hmm,
You always reference, your roots back in the
right,
Philippines.
right.
I'm a similar case too, right? My parents came from the Philippines, and it wasn't really passed down as strong as it should have been, right? Because they wanted us to, be able to live comfortably in the United States. So I think it
Yeah,
was done out of love, right? So
yeah, you're right.
awesome. But I love, again, you reference the Philippines hardcore, and I'll talk about some of the
Yeah,
lines you mentioned in the tracks. So it was really dope. Hey, well, how long have you been making music?
yeah, dude. So I want to say I wrote my first like poetry rap stuff in like '09, like
Oh,
2000.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way I introduce it now is like I say a little over a decade.
Okay.
But if I get specific, I think it's like 14 years now since I wrote that first little whatever I wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it spoken? So was it spoken word first, or was it like, hey, I'm gonna try rapping? So what do you think? Was it poetry or just straight into rap?
It started off as poetry. It
Okay.
started off as poetry. I've shared it before, but I'm happy to share it with you.
Yeah.
So in 2009, I was going going into my senior year of high school. So this is the
Okay.
summer before my senior year. And
Yeah.
this is how I have like ties to the Bay Area and why I have like a reverence and respect for the Bay Area and the community there is because I spent the summer at UC Berkeley for
Wow.
yeah, for this program that is no long it literally like got shut down after my like class went through, but honestly it was a life-changing experience. um and basically it was kind of like an ethnic studies course. I didn't really know that's what it was.
Okay.
But I got into this ethnic studies course and I learned about like social justice
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff, kind of like from that woke mindset, I guess, or
Yeah.
conscious mindset, I guess. And so and that was in the Bay Area. It was at UC Berkeley, and we kind of like we went on like field trips all over the north, like all over NorCal, and like it just opened my eyes to so much. And the biggest thing that it opened my eyes to is how much youth were doing like, voicing their opinions through
Yeah.
art, music, and poetry. So
Sure.
um every night we had to choose a specific like art form to like discuss the day or decompress about the day.
Yeah.
uh and so I chose poetry, and we had like a coach, we had a little team, and
Yeah.
they taught us these different exercises, and it was like on from there. I was like 17 at the time.
Oh, that's dope. Did you get to
Yeah.
perform at any spots on Telegraph? We used to perform in Berkeley all the time back in
Oh
the day.
man, honestly, it's been so long, but yeah, we kind of my first like little show or performance was at the end of the summer. We
Yeah.
had to put on basically our own like show, our own open mic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had to invite the community, college students. Seriously, I don't even know if I would do that now. Like I feel like you get self-conscious as you
Yeah.
age a little bit, and I'm like, yo, when I was a kid, I didn't really care. I just went and did it. So
Yep.
I try to remember. I'm glad you asked me this story, and even though I've told this story a lot of times,
Yeah.
um it's kind of like, re-inspiring. It reinvigorates me when I remember like 17 Jehzan. uh
Yeah.
so yeah. And on top of that, lots of talented artists, and we were all so young. And
Yeah.
now, I don't know if you heard of names like Teresa, who's a Polynesian like poet and like big voice activist for like Oceania. Some of my mentors were Michael James, who's like kind of a renowned professor in
Yeah.
California. Um, and just met a whole lot of youth from like all over the states, not just Cali. And it was really fun. And on top of that, we got to like live like college life for a little
Yeah.
bit.
That's so dope. Yeah, you'll have to school me on some of those folks. I'd love to learn about it. So dope. So
Okay.
you got your start in spoken word
Yeah.
poetry, and I know a lot of people that have done it. Another famous Filipino MC in the
Hmm.
community is a guy by the name of Off White.
Hmm.
Same as you, started as spoken word and then delved into rap. So what was your transition like? How was that? Where you were like, okay, I'm doing spoken word, and then
Hmm.
now I want to try rapping a little bit. Where did
Right.
it happen?
I love spoken word. Honestly, I've been trying to a lot of my more recent shows, I've been trying to do more like a cappella stuff and like getting back into that mix. But I guess I didn't realize when I was writing spoken word, I was already writing kind of like in a cadence of hip hop or like in a cadence of rap.
Yeah. Okay.
So this day I feel like I don't really write spoken word that well. I just always end up going into like some sort of rhythm, so it's hard for me to be like blue lights flashing up, down.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Kind of like, I guess more like free how like slam poets are,
Yeah.
but um I don't know, I just always rap to a cadence. And even
Yeah.
when I try to write stuff without a beat nowadays, I just end up, I don't know, it's just maybe it's just how I'm formulated
Yeah.
now. But I would have to say, as far as the transition, it wasn't too hard, because basically what I did after that whole program was I just started recording the poems I already had
Yeah.
over like beats. but I wasn't trying to be on beat. It was like I was trying to be like artistic, like
Oh,
beat
yeah.
playing and then me like doing some like rap stuff over it. So I guess they kind of went together because when I started doing open mics here in Honolulu,
Yeah.
I um I would just basically spit like my acapella verses, and that got me far enough. You
Dope.
know?
Yeah, well, you're very melodic in your delivery. I listened
Mm,
to a lot of your
thank
stuff
you.
from 2012 all the way to Alo
Wow.
Alo. So yeah, you just
Wow.
very skillful with that. So was the first track that you recorded the one of my exes, the
Oh
exes
my
song? This is
goodness.
like in 2012.
I
I was
love
feeling that
this.
song, man.
Hey, okay, okay, right. That's why I never took it down because there's something special about it.
Yeah.
No, that's not one of that's one of my very first songs. So dude, I'm in this conversation right now. Let me just say.
I love
So,
it. I
like,
love it.
the fact that we're kind of, I feel like every artist, especially in this age of like social media, we need to be reminded like why we do music. Because if you
Yeah.
look at like my numbers and stuff, like I'm really not that poppin' per se, but I have people like you. What I mean is like I don't have like a viral amount right now, but I know that what I'm doing is working because I meet people like you and I have
Yeah.
conversations like this. Like you have entered like the Jehzan exclusive universe, and it's just so crazy that it's not just me, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and I'm feeling it, and right, like the music you do, like I super connect with it, and I was like, let me see what Jazan is when she first started.
Hey,
So like I was like bumping it last night, right? It's
hey,
like, oh man,
yes,
dude, she's wow. Like I was
yeah.
like really feeling that. So yeah, it was good to see your storytelling ability. And so, was there any like a particular artist as you were growing up that like was influential in the commercial scene or maybe the local Hawaii scene?
Hmm.
Any artists that stand out in terms of the development of Jazan and who she is as an MC today? I know some
Wow.
of your later influences. I hear a lot of shout outs to Ruby Ibarra,
Oh
but
hell yeah.
we'll take it out. We'll take it back to
Yes, let's
even
do it.
further.
Oh my goodness, this is like totally the conversations I've been wanting to have. So thanks for asking. But to piggyback
Yeah.
off one of my exes, I would have to say now that I see how my music has been and like how my brand and how I've changed like as growing up,
Yeah.
because I started this as a teenager and now I'm like in my early 30s.
Right.
So uh basically one of my exes I feel is part of like Jazan 1.0.
Yep.
I would say that's the music I made from like 2009 to probably about 2012.
Yep.
And then I kind of went through different eras now, and I feel like I'm about to enter a new era, to be honest.
Dope.
But when you're asking me about early influences, I do have a few that come to mind, especially local artists. So the
Yep.
first one is Tasho Pierce.
Yep.
Uh, he had like a top single called Honolulu, and he used to play. They used to play those musics on Overdrive Live with Davey D. This is like early 2000s, and I
Yeah.
was all into that TV. I don't know if you remember like Overdrive Live, Tiny TV, Tiny Tadani, Brother Sam and Lena Girl, where they would like go around like basically like vlogs, like the same type of vlogs we have now. Um,
So dope. Yeah.
yeah, but Tasho Pierce really like early. This is even before I really wanted to be like a rap artist, but
Okay.
he just influenced me so much because it was like, wow, this is the first like Hawaii guy that I see doing like hip hop. And his song was really good and he talked about like where we were. So for me to see that represented on TV, even on a local scale, it meant a lot to like 12-year-old Jazan,
Yeah.
um, but when I first started, getting into the scene, I was doing a lot of like networking on like MySpace and Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so two artists that come to mind are Bombs, who
Okay.
still makes music today. He lives in Vegas, but he's from Kalihi. I've worked with him quite a few times over the
Yeah.
years. So Bombs, and also a kid named Pre. Uh, to my knowledge, he doesn't really do music. Not that I've seen. But he's
He's from
still.
Maui, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But he had like he was the first kid I want to say that put on for the rest of Hawaii hip hop, to be honest. I feel like
Yep.
Tosh will kind of, and I'm sure there's more, but just
Yep.
from my perspective as like a kid, a millennial, a kid coming up on the internet, Pre was probably like, I would say the biggest like viral stars from Hawaii before
Yeah.
that was even like a thing. He worked with like Angry Locals. He had like the whole package, you know. He like had like poke in his music videos, but he dressed like hip hop, and all his clothes came from like Limited Addiction, Prototype, Information, and so it was
Yeah.
that whole like local boy aesthetic, like but rapping.
Yeah.
I feel like Pre. I'm not sure if he's mentioned a lot, but I hope he sees this interview sometime. And you know, I talked to him too as a resource in my early years. So
Yeah.
Pre, Bombs, Tasho. There's a whole lot more, but I would have to say those are the top three in like my early psyche.
Dope. You got to definitely share some stuff from Bombs. Tasho Pierce, I know, did a song with Kid Cudi. I don't know if that was the Honolulu song, but
No, it's
that
not.
song was dope. Yeah, so
Mhm.
Tasho, and then I seen him actually perform at a Grouch show like 4 years ago. So yeah,
Okay.
super dope. I don't know if he's from Oahu, but that's where I saw him. I saw him in Chinatown perform.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
And then Pre, I seen a number of years too as well
Oh
perform
wow,
live. So he's pretty
that's
dope.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yo,
he's
that's
definitely
so
got
cool.
a old school sound. I like him. So I
So
think
you
is he
know what
half?
I'm talking about. You know what I'm
Yeah,
describing right now. Yeah,
Pre. I think is he half black, half Samoan? I think.
I think so. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
Mhm,
yeah, I know he's a younger kid than me, but he's super dope. And you
mhm.
mentioned like Angry Locals, and then I know you did
Yes.
some stuff with Punahele too, who is
Oh, heck
also
yeah.
a Hawaiian legend in the hip hop scene. So really dope. I like that. So good. Thank you for the background. So that too, I'd love to expose more like Hawaiian hip hop in general. But
Yes.
anything from the mainland that you like too as well?
Okay. Really, I didn't really realize it when I first discovered these guys, but basically, pretty much almost all the artists under the Beat Rock label.
Yeah.
Uh, so in my early years, it was Blue Scholars. I'm a big Blue Scholars fan.
Oh.
Part of how I got into the program at UC Berkeley is I got referred to by my youth mentors at church. And my
Okay.
youth mentors at church like went to UC Berkeley or are like from the Bay Area. And
Okay.
my friend, shout out Bob. He's more like my uncle, but like anyways, shout out Bob. He knows who he is. He knows who he is. The people who know what I'm talking about know who he is. Um, and he used to give me like uh kind of like bootleg Blue Scholars CDs, but I don't know if he had like permission from them or some sort of thing where, long story short, I got like a early preview to their album Cinematropolis, which came out
Oh, yeah.
in
Joe
2000.
Metro. Yep.
Yeah, 2011, I think, 2010. And like I was put on from there. Then I went into like their back catalog and
Yep.
like my early like I want to say I spent a number of years like remixing songs. Like that's how I learned like how to write and stuff before I started writing more original stuff. But Blue Scholars was one of those, you know, artists and groups that I kind of like remixed a lot, or like I like their beats, I like their style, I like their content. So Blue Scholars, big time.
Yep.
Um, and then from there, like Bamboo, and then from Bamboo, I got introduced to Rocky Rivera, who I
Yep. His
also
wife.
met. Shout out Rocky. And then from there, I met Ruby Ibarra in 2018. And honestly, I feel like that was another turning point, and it was like on from there, you
Yep.
know. So yeah.
No, that's dope, man. Now that you mentioned Blue Scholars, you did a track in mid 2000 called
Mm,
Beyond that had the
yeah.
beat by Sabsi. So is
Yes.
that an actual track that you guys connected on, or did you just rhyme over that beat for the mixtape?
No, bro. I'm an internet kid, so I'm downloading music from
Yeah,
YouTube
dope.
and
Well, that
stuff.
song is dope.
Yeah.
I was like, man, and that was like a
Oh, thank
question on my
you.
on my list too, so I was interested. But yeah, that beat was
Oh,
dope, and you rock that track hard. So
dude,
dope.
thank you for the time to listen to my, you know, my growth. it's
Yeah.
so different, right? Each era. So I'm glad that you're jumping into this, man.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you do. And so I'll talk about your involvement as an MC in a bit, but super dope, man. So what about so production? Do you do production or you just strictly MC?
No, honestly, I kind of, as much as I do want to like get more into production, years ago, not too long ago, but some years ago,
Okay.
I knew that I had to focus. Like every champion has to choose what they're good at, or every human. And
Yeah.
um, as much as I love to be like a jack of all trades, which in many ways I am, for music, I chose to like really focus on being like a writer and an MC. Like I
Okay.
chose, and so that's what I feel I work on the most. But with I've always recorded my own self like on GarageBand, and now
Yep.
I'm getting into like BandLab and all these other programs. But no, I would have to say I'm happy to have worked with like different producers and engineers. And now I have like somewhat of like a little team right now. So I'm happy for where I'm at right now. Plus with like technology and stuff.
So yeah, well, with that, like like I really noticed that you were a good storyteller, and so was that always the intent when you started rapping? Like for me, I know when I started, it was more very like I wanted to focus on battle type raps, and just
Mm,
and then later on
mm,
I evolved into try to telling stories. But you're just naturally good at it. So is that
mm.
kind of like what you had intended on?
Yeah, I'll get a little bit deep, but like growing up, my parents were split. My parents were divorced, and my parents were young parents. And my dad remarried early. Shout outs to him and all my siblings and stuff.
Okay.
But my mom, she stayed like a single mom for like over 20 years. And of course, through that time, she's like dating and stuff like that. She's building her career. And so she really like went against the grain a lot in our family, and I didn't really realize how much like backlash and how much criticism she received as until I started to get older. And so there was always a part of me that wanted to kind of like tell my mom's story correctly, like no, 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 like she's actually a boss for doing what you guys say is like wrong or
Yeah.
untraditional, or unchristian like. And so really, really in my like song, like my vendetta as a teenager was kind of like to avenge my mom and like retell our story. So
Wow.
I guess in a way, I mean, I don't think I was doing that on every single song, but
Right.
it was like my motivation and intent. So till this day, I'm sure you also hear it. Like I put my mom in a lot of content. You know what I mean? We work very closely. We're a very close mother daughter combo, and we're gonna get very close. Like we're gonna get closer. I just announced something, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's dope, man. And yeah, you use it your music very well. Music is
Mm,
a weapon, and you message it to talk about a lot of social
mm,
injustices. And you represent the Philippine and Hawaii culture
right.
hard,
Right.
and I love it. And we need more of it. I never heard a rapper that talk about shave ice and make it sound dope like you have.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. But I appreciate that, and so when you can share about where you're from and the struggles and your experiences, yeah, I really feel that, and that's why I enjoy your music. So
Mhm.
so thank you for doing that. But can you talk to me about the Hawaii hip hop scene in general? And
Sure.
so was there a lot of people doing it, or did you
Yeah.
feel like
Are you
you were on
talking about
your
like
own?
when I first started?
Yeah, and you can talk about just how it progressed. Did it grow?
Okay.
Did it
Okay.
die? Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did was in my like early years. So I'm talking about that era from so basically from like 2009 to 2012. I was kind of like in my high school, post high school stage. So if you're listening to songs from that time, you're talking about like one of my exes. I did a lot of like remixes at that time, a lot of like club type of that was like in the jerkin movement, kind of like the hyphy movement too.
Yeah.
So a lot of my early stuff, as much as I say I'm talking with intent, I was not really talking with intent in in those early times.
Okay.
But after that, I went into the open mic scene. So this is like college years from like 2013 to about 2015. I
Okay.
went to HPU, and so HPU had a annual talent show that was open to like all students. You had to like audition and stuff,
Oh
and you
wow.
could perform at Hawaii Theater.
Nice.
So I did that. I did that 3 times.
Okay.
Uh, the 2 times as like a performer, and then number one on the second one I was like the closing act, like I was the
Oh,
act that went after the main act. So it was kind of a cool thing that they called me back. So that was like the whole full circle of then. And during that time I was only briefly going to like local shows. Honestly, part of it was I was kind of like intimidated. This is like the angry local scene.
yep.
He was also big up in here, and also I want to shout out Broke Mokes. Broke Mokes were also big.
Okay.
And they're still big, the artists are still big, but like this was like I feel like their hype time. This is when like Dumbfounded, Aquafina is coming
Yeah.
down, Bone is bringing all these like kind of like the Asian YouTube era.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I was in school and I was in the military at the time, so I didn't really get out as much as I wanted. So I used that time to kind of just like focus on just like doing me, and I did like my school stuff. I went to like spoken word open mics. I was being a college kid. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how I got like my pre-start in performing. And then after that, I would have to say from like 2015 till now, that's when I started really diving into Hawaii's hip hop scene. And
Oh,
it's grown. So I'll let you like kind of guide the questions, but that's how I got into Hawaii hip hop. 2015, I was doing like some open mics, and then soon enough I met Bone and I got into like the first couple shows, and
yep.
people like Shango as well, put me on those early shows. I'm sure there's more, but I want to say those two guys are like the two main ones when I first started in like 2015, 2016. Yeah.
That's so dope. Yeah, I'm glad I'm getting some Hawaii hip hop history, right? So it's filling in a lot of the gaps of the story that I know. So that's super
Yeah.
cool. So really cool. Well, what about, let's talk about your name. So is that your MC
Sure.
name? Is that your real name or is that
Yes.
okay?
Yeah, so you're talking about Jehzan. Sorry, I'm just responding to something.
No worries.
Uh, yeah. So how I got my music name? My real name is Jehzan, Jesand. It's actually my parents'
Oh,
name put together, Jessica and Ferdinand. So I get
oh,
Jehzan.
heck yeah.
Yep.
My name is my parents' name too. It's a
Yes.
combination of names, so that's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
But growing up, like teachers would ask me, like, oh, write your name how you want us to pronounce it. So the way I just always did it was the way I spell my rap name now. So I've been
got it. Oh,
writing Zan like my whole life. Like I've been introducing myself that way. When I used to do like summer camp and stuff, I always used to be like, yo, my name is Jazan when I'm like 10 years old. So I was already this way. I just didn't know it was like gonna be like hip hop, you know?
oh, that's dope. Yeah, so you use the exclusive too as the full MC name, right? Jehzan Exclusive. Yeah,
Yeah.
and how did that come about? How did you get the
Thanks
full
for
extension?
asking that, because I feel like the exclusive part I don't talk about. So, bruh, thank you for asking this. Um, so I I started rapping over like a bunch of remixes, and I think I was doing like some Lil Wayne beat, and in the raps I would always hear like rappers be like, like DJ Khaled is like another one, or like
Yeah, yeah.
DJ Khaled or exclusive, and I think Lil Wayne used to say exclusive
Okay.
sometimes. And so I started doing that in like my early garage band songs. And then my friends that I would play it for, like my classmates or like my little like homegirls, they they'd be like, "Oh, I like how you say exclusive, Jazan exclusive." But in my thought, I'm like, "Oh, I thought they're thinking that the song is exclusive because I put it on the song." But they're like, "No, you should keep that." And so it kind of started like me just randomly saying exclusive in the
Uh,
beginning of the songs or the
yeah.
remix. and then it kind of just stuck. And then once I started, building my brand per se, I just kept it, and so I'm keeping it. You know.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And so it's dope. I love that it's just a tweak of your first name too, right? In totality. So yeah, that's super cool. Like it took me a forever. Like it wasn't even an idea for me. Like
Wow.
I do have that thought sometimes. When I'm just thinking about hip hop and my journey in general, I was like, dude, it would have been dope if I just used my first name. So first name
Right.
is Romello, and I almost wish I did that, but that's not the way my
Mm,
story went. So I
I
love
got
your story.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been rolling with Jehzan Exclusive forever. I need to like trademark it and patent it, man. Like copyright
Yep.
shit. But um yeah, it's cool that you're going into all of this. Again,
Yeah.
like,
It's fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good. Hey, let's talk about 2021 and your release of the
Okay,
Halo Halo tape,
here we
produced
go.
by Japanese producer Right Now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dope. So I know it was a personal project that you did during the COVID time. 6 tracks of dope hip hop.
Yes.
Off the bat, you started with the Chiefin track, one of my favorite tracks.
Mm,
Actually, it is my favorite track on the album.
wow,
Yeah, I
cool.
enjoyed the introduction. It was conscious. It was like really cool. It was just like a meld and mixed pot of like conscious hip hop and then a lot of Filipino references.
Yeah.
And man, I'm telling you, the hook was dope. I'm not gonna say it
Ah,
right, but Chiefin like ali'i and kalihi, right? Rice,
yes.
bangos, vinegar, and the sili.
Hey,
Man, that is dope with the calamansi and juice from the coconut. Sip a little
hey,
something. Mom said, when I'm old enough,
yeah.
man. That was the hook. I messed up while I was saying it, but I was
Like,
like,
no,
man.
no, that's so perfect. Like, honestly, bro, like I feel like artists, like we tend to be like delusional. I believe in like they call it what is it called? I think like Tom Cruise does it. It's kind of like role playing. Oh my god, I can't think of the word right now, but basically it's a type of delusion. So,
Okay.
artists, writers create these universes through their music or their books or their stories,
Yeah.
and like they kind of get to live. I get to kind of live in the delusion of Jehzan Exclusive, but to
Well,
have supporters like you and listeners who are not only listening but like listening with intent and like having a conversation with me about it, it like
yeah.
makes me realize like, oh no, like this world I've created, it's real, and it people are understanding
I
it.
feel it. I was like, dude, how did she make freaking bangos or milkfish and calamansi sound dope in a hook? I was like blown away. And it was so dope. I
Yo.
was like, dude, I need to get on this remix, dude. But hey, props
Mm,
for the hook. Uh, you started hard on off the bat. So
right.
yo, that was super dope. And then your tracks, like as you went on, right? So you got
Mhm.
Put It On, which was a
Yes.
great song. You flexed on, you showcased your
Right.
skill. I can
Right.
relate to it. It's a lot of stories about your living in a Filipino
Yes.
household.
Yes.
And then your song High Up, which a lot of message about self love. And so that's where I'm seeing like the connection with the story of your mom
Mhm. Mhm.
talking about self love and it's worth it. And so when you talked story about your mom, that was the song I thought about. And so
Mm.
dope. So you really put a lot of heart and soul into your songs, and I love it. Quarantine Blues, obviously, it was another track that, as a result of quarantine, you talked about, just your time doing that. But
Yeah.
it's a dope project. Were you just like, did you intend on doing an album, or you like, I'm stuck in the house, so I'm just gonna put
Right.
together? What was the
Right.
story behind that album?
Right. So prior to the Hollow Hollow EP, I was always like putting out mixtapes. I already kind of released until this day I've released a bunch of like EPs and mixtapes, but
You know?
in the past it's always just been more like I didn't really realize it, but what I was doing was I was just like compiling songs I already had. But Hollow Hollow number one, it's the first time that it was exclusively produced. Like I had one producer, one engineer, and kind of
Yeah.
like a small core team of people that were like dedicated to this project, including the time that we had during quarantine. So you're right. It was kind of a little bit of both, what you're
Okay.
saying. Um, and so yeah, I always wanted to put out like I always wanted to put out a project that is like completely me and is kind of like consistent in the sound and tone and content.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it. So I'm really grateful to right now. He he's an artist from Japan, but he
Yep.
lived in Hawaii for a few years, and he
Yep.
won one of like the producer or like beats battles here a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so you know,
Beat
he's
was-
kind of, yeah, he's kind of
Yep.
made a name for himself over here, and he's doing his thing in Tokyo. So I'm glad we were able to make that connection. And then also shout out my engineer, but in many ways he's also my producer too, because he's
Okay.
like the in-person
Okay.
you know, person here. His name is Eric, EDP Beats. And
Okay.
so we recorded most of this project in his original in a bunch of different places, but it was all through like his production and his studio stuff.
Ah, dope, man. Yeah, that whole album was just was put
Thank
together
you.
real well. You know, women in the mirror, Big
Mm,
Thinker track, and then Clockwork
yeah.
was another dope track. Which again, you
Yeah.
talked about Ponset being hypnotic. I was like, dang,
Oh, yeah.
she did it again. She made Ponset sound super cool. I don't know how she did it, but I'm in it. I'm hooked. So,
Right, right,
hey, did you
right.
guys end up pressing any copies of that album, or is it just a digital release?
No, it's a digital release. Honestly, that's like another thing. But truthfully, bro, this is why I'm, like I said, I'm in another transition again, is because
Yeah.
like to do this music shit, like as much as we have like free social media and this, that, and stuff,
Yeah.
bruh, it takes money to really do,
Yeah.
you know, to really do it to the extent that I really want to do it. I'm grateful for everything that I have and all the support I have now. But like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it does take money to like
Yeah.
do even more. So tangible copies, yes, I would love to.
Yeah.
People just gotta. I just need to build this some more. But I feel like Hollow Hollow was a great step in the right
Yeah.
direction.
Hundred
And I,
percent.
yeah, and I feel like it's finally a project that I can take to more like, you know, solidified institutions or like programs or even like bigger artists. I'm glad that I have it because it's something I can easily like give. Because before it was like I got this mixtape, but some of the tracks are like not mixed, some of the tracks are different
Yeah.
producers. And so but I'm glad again that, you know, people like you went back to the catalog and you see the progression. So I'm more
Yep.
curious to know like how has your journey been going from 2012 Jehzan to like 2023, you know?
Yeah. In terms of my perspective on you as
Yeah,
growing as an MC,
yeah.
oh man, I think you're very polished now, right? So
Mm,
you could tell, you know, in 2012 you were still. I thought you were really good already, but
right,
you were
right.
still shaping your style, right?
Mhm.
And what's interesting was that you went through phases, right? So
Yeah,
you know, like one of my exes is definitely like on the opposite scale of like your woman in the mirror.
right, right.
So it's good. It was awesome to see your versatility. You have always been a good storyteller, and then
Mm,
what I like about you too is you're good with adapting to the style that's in at the current
mm,
time, right?
mhm,
So I
mhm.
noticed there was a lot of like more of the modern type hip hop. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a old hip hop head, and so I'm stuck in that '90s era. But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, she can flip it double time. She can
Yeah,
transition to like the more crunk stuff,
yeah,
the hyphy Bay Area stuff. You did that. You had different mixtapes that showed your
right.
transition. So I don't know if that was just you flexing your ability as an MC or if you were still trying to develop your style. But
Mhm.
now I see you honed in as an MC in 2021 with that Hollow
Right,
Hollow album. And so
right.
here I'm clear. You are doing very well in terms of depicting who you are as a person. You know, I could tell you're very active in the community. You know, you're proud to be a Filipina and you rep it hard and you talk about your background. And so and I think that's why I connect with you so much, just because
Right.
it's you, man. There's nothing fake about it. And that's the real you. And I was like, man, I was doing the same thing too. My Filipino
Right,
family.
right.
So yeah, so now I think you're at a point where I feel like, hey man, I know who Jehzan is, and I watched you or I listened to your entire journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited. Whatever you're putting out next, I'm super pumped.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And so let's go look. Let's look at younger Jehzan, right? So
Sure.
like I said, I went through your entire catalog and started
Yeah.
in 2012. I won't tell you again how much I love your One of My Ex's track. And hey, by the way, I'm curious though, was the beat from online or did you?
Okay.
What's the story of the beat? Because the
So
La La
let
La
me tell
remix,
you. Let me
sick.
tell you. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you're talking about One of My Exes, because especially like if you're thinking about like my early supporters, which in like Filipino family is like my cousins. So
Yeah, yeah, for
um
sure.
bro, me and my cousins, like my cousins love that song. And
Yeah.
so like I'm so glad that you do, and you get the content, even though it was like totally opposite of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Um so One of My Exes is a remix to Lil Wayne's La La La. It's kind of like that little la 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 la. It was just like part of the beat, and he just did his Lil Wayne thing where he just rapped for 40 bars nonstop,
Yeah.
on whatever he was on. So I just decided to do the same thing. But the idea for the song came from this other song from another artist.
Okay.
I really okay. It was called "One of My Homies" by Sean Christopher.
Oh, okay. I'm not. Oh man.
Yeah, and so if you listen to his song, I really wanted to remix that kid's song. I wanted to
Okay.
remix my homies because I follow the same writing style. He's just talking about stories in the hood about his homies. So he's like, one of my homies in jail. One of my, you know what I mean? Like one of
Yeah.
my homies in this, and that. And so I was like, oh, I want to do it to that, but like talk about like this breakup I just went through,
Yeah.
you know?
I love
And
it.
man, I'm looking back, I'm glad that I had, in my younger days, like 18, even before 18, but like I had my days of like going out, clubbing, dating.
Yeah.
So I had a good run, I feel like in my early adulthood. And so one of my exes, I feel low key, I didn't really realize it at the time, but it's kind of like an ode to that lifestyle, like
Yeah.
that
For sure.
college kind of lifestyle. And so that's where one of my exes came about. And I realized like, I talked to a lot of people and had a lot of experiences.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just decided,
I was listening to
yeah,
that song. I was like, yo, screw that chick, man. So I was dope. No, I got you, and so I like have tracks like that from when I was younger too, right? And
mhm, mhm.
late '90s and early 2000s, where I was like, damn. I listen to it now, I'm like, why did I say that? But they were some of like my most popular songs too, right?
Right,
Got
right.
feedback, so the emotion people were feeling, and I was too at the time. So, 2015, you did the project Where I'm At. That was another great project. The
Right.
tracks that you did was a collective of songs that you did over the couple, I think 4 years or something like that. And that was where that We On track is, where you
Yes,
used the Sopsy beat. That was a good track. I
yes.
wanted to ask you about your Reasons track song that was produced by super producer Freddie Joachim, right? So
Mhm.
is that another beat you just grabbed from online, or do you actually know Freddie too as well?
So basically, I would
Yeah.
say everything before Hollow Hollow is
Yep.
probably, I downloaded it from YouTube Converter.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, hey,
and
well
I
done,
put it out
man.
for free. I put these out for free.
Yep.
And then over time, I started to get, I bought beats here and there. I'm starting to do that a lot more now that I have, the
Yeah.
means and the ideas to. But
Mhm.
over time, I started getting beats from the homies. So I have some songs that were produced by Bombs,
Yep.
my other homie Cruz.
Okay.
Um, and my homie Vince in the Philippines. So I'm
Nice.
sure more there's more producers that I work with, but
Yeah.
basically like till this day I still vibe off of like going and finding stuff on YouTube,
Yeah,
you
for sure.
know.
Yeah, and then you were a child of the mixtape era too, which was
Right,
super
right.
popular. I caught it a little bit late, but I still love it too. And
Mhm.
I've always wanted to do like just a collection of tracks on other people's beats too, and
Okay.
it's similar to like Ice Cube jacking for beats. So that was dope. But hey, good choice. Freddie Joachim is a dope MC. But let's talk
Yeah,
about the actual song, right?
sure.
So the Reasons track, that was another hook that I was like, I just
Right,
lost all
right.
my hair. I don't have any hair. But it was like, these are the reasons I can't fall asleep. Just tell my demons not to bother me, man. And I was like, yeah,
Wow.
that
Yeah.
stuff keeps me up too. And so that was another track that I was super feeling. And then you do a lot of on that album where you're like singing and rapping. So
Mm.
that's I wanted to point that out too. It was just your style to like mix. That's like, and I was like, man, at some point you sound like two different artists at the same time
Hey.
rapping. So I really enjoyed that you do that too as well. Sometimes I try to sing, but it doesn't work out for me. But it works out very well for you. Do you want to talk about that? Like, is that something you
Sure.
enjoy doing?
Yeah. I think honestly, I've always kind of been musically inclined. It was never really pushed on me like that. So for
Uh-huh.
context, um, I grew up. I grew up in a Filipino household, but also like a Christian household. So from a very young kid, like my family on my dad's side especially is like very involved in church. My grandparents are Catholic, so I it was always like an aspiration. And I also went to a small private school here in Honolulu. Shout
All
out
right.
Christian Academy.
All
It's
right.
the First Assembly of God school right off of Red Hill, right next to Kaiser Permanente.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I went to that school in their early years.
Okay.
Um and so it was always like a prestigious thing to be like part of the worship team. So I remember,
Is that like the choir team or what is that?
yeah, the choir
Okay. Oh,
team,
okay. Well.
but just for like the school chapel, like Wednesday or Tuesday chapel time. And so since like as young as second grade, I love singing in praise and worship, and
Okay.
I always wanted to be on the worship team. But I think I didn't really like take it seriously, so I never really got picked. But I still like love singing and stuff through all that, and
Yeah.
I'm very blessed because I didn't realize it, but I had a lot of like good music and a lot of like musically inclined family members around me. So, of course, the karaoke thing, I still feel like my mom is really good at singing karaoke, and so
Oh.
I feel like I got a lot of my early like tunes from her or
Yeah.
by watching her. And then I had a lot of uncles who played guitar, piano, had a lot of uncles who DJ'd. And then from there, my parents like I romanticized the 80s and the 90s because that's the hip hop era that my family, like my parents came from. They were young parents. I'm a 91 baby. My parents graduated in like 89, you
Okay.
know? Um so it's cool because with the internet I was able to go back as a teenager. I was able to go back and find Biggie and find Tupac and find
Yep.
Wu-Tang through YouTube and SoundCloud and stuff. But like my parents actually lived through that era. So like my dad, in my songs I talk about like my dad having like a Honda Civic, like his two-door all white Honda Civic hatch.
True.
You know what I'm saying? With all the records for my uncle's DJ set in the back. And I was still little, but my family used to throw parties at Camp Smith, and all my uncles would like DJ, and they didn't let me touch anything, but I was just a little kid, just like running around and seeing all that stuff. And I would see my older cousins like break dance. And then I don't
Yeah.
know, I feel like I was born in such a cool era. I came up in like the You Got Served era, and like
Oh
I was just
man. Yeah.
always around music. So I feel like that's how I got into it. And then I was very privileged growing up in like private school, being able to be in like band and stuff. So I in Hawaii it was like required to play ukulele in like third grade.
Really? Oh,
So
crazy.
yeah, so I learned a little bit of like ukulele, and then I played the clarinet for like almost 4 years, from like fifth grade to eighth grade. So, I didn't really realize it, but I was having like a whole studious education
Yeah.
situation. So, and I just put it all together. And I think that's what I represent now is like that whole mix of like the street, the scholar,
Yeah.
now I'm moving on to like other entrepreneurial things. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's just the growth and the evolvement of who I am.
Yeah, I love it. Yo, shout out to your mom for having karaoke skills and
Oh, heck yeah.
passing them on to you. Yeah. It was
Mm-hmm.
evident. So I did like for a couple, instances. I was like, dude, she got like the Lauryn Hill vibe going on where she can
Ooh,
sing
thank you.
and rap. So I know it's mostly rap and then complemented with singing. So maybe you do a singing and then just throw a verse in there like Lauren. But
Mm.
so I did recognize that and I wanted to acknowledge it on the interview. So really good job doing that. Yeah, yeah. So yep, just really dope. I'm glad that she passed on her singing ability to you and we just heard just you growing up in that area. And so, and I thought you did that throughout all the mixtapes that I listened to, right? So with
Yeah.
Island Waves, City Haze Volume One, you ripping beats, but it was more, again, I felt you showcasing of what growing up in Honolulu was like, and I really enjoyed that journey, right? And so, um, that project series was 3 volumes, right? City Haze.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you did a track on volume 3, the kids track, where you did that ode to Ahmad, where you used the back in the day hook. And
Yes.
I was like, dude,
Yo.
fucking took it back. And then she
Yeah.
like honored the great MC Ahmad
Yeah.
with that hook, and you flipped it, and I love it. So that yeah, y'all gotta check that song out. That song is super
Good.
dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kids, I think is the name of the track,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
the hook like had me hooked, right? Barangay was another track that I enjoyed, and still, man, I mean, you were just doing it right, very complex at a young age, talking about social issues, which I love
Mm.
because we need to let it be known. And so I love that you showcase and you're telling the story, right? So
Yeah.
just real mind thinkers, I thought, and perspective, and yeah, perspective is everything. And you really emphasize that family is everything and anything is possible just as long as you can do it. And so that was the message I got. So very,
Right.
very influential. All right, let's move on to 2019 and let's talk
Okay.
about your
Okay.
Davao EP, right?
Yes.
So I know. So I was right when I was like going through your music, and I was like, "Yep, she's in Ilocana," and I didn't
Hey.
understand like reference to Davao. I was like, "Did she just go there for vacation?" But you talked about
Hey.
your dad being from Davao,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So yeah. So Garcia Heights, you talked about your
Yeah.
reference going from Kalihi to Davao. Man,
Uh-huh.
this was very vivid in my mind. So uh, maybe because I love going to Kalihi and going to that bakery. What's that bakery that's over at Kalihi?
Hunting.
Hunting's is my spot. It doesn't even have like a sign. It has like a Wallis thing hanging out in the,
Yeah.
and I know it's the spot. But yeah, that
Kalihi.
was that song was dope. Yeah, and so do you still have family there, or and have you did you actually go to Davao in Mindanao?
Yes, bro. So
Oh,
each of
wait.
my mixtapes, I would say, so the just to again for context, the Where I'm At EP, I put that out as a project to fundraise to go to Team Backpack, which was like a cipher competition in
Yeah,
LA in
absolutely.
2015. And so that, like I said, there's a lot of like different points. There's every brick when you're building like a house, right? Every brick means something, but there are certain bricks that are just a little bit more momentous than the average brick. And
Okay.
so the Team Backpack brick of my career, I feel like that was one, and that was funded through like a GoFundMe thing that I did, and I gave people the Where I'm At mixtape. I gave it like CDs, like I gave it to my friends and family who
Dope.
supported. And then after that, I did the same thing to fundraise for my tour to Davao in 2019, but I was fundraising in 2018, and Island Waves and City Haze Volume 3 was the fundraising tape that took me to the Philippines, if that makes
Wow.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then finally we get to the Philippines. I spend the entire month of February 2019 there. Long story
Dope.
short, I have a homie that like lived there. We had a house to stay, and she was able to help us out a lot. Just to take us out. She lived right in Garcia Heights, which is basically in the middle of Davao City, just a block away from the Abriza Mall, which is like the biggest mall in Davao.
Wow.
And so we really basically like live like locals, and we blend right in. I'm literally Filipino. So
Yeah.
like me and my partner just decided to really go on tour at the time. This is right before COVID, and we're so
Yeah.
glad that we we took that chance and made that jump. It took a lot of money, time, and effort, but it's an experience that I feel. I mean, I'm not trying to like be, I'm not trying to put this out there, but like if I were to pass, I feel like just by going on that tour, I had already accomplished something so big to me. Like
Sure.
most artists don't even experience that,
Yeah.
So yeah, so I spent the whole month in Davao. I was basically doing like my music stuff just like at a full-time level there. I performed at like 4 to 6 shows. I met a whole
Nice.
bunch of friends. The support there is like insane. Like till this day, I'm still a little bit jaded about the support I had in the Philippines
Yeah.
versus like coming home in Hawaii. I have support here in Hawaii, like I really really do, but it was just at such a grander scale over
Okay.
there. So I
That's
learned a
amazing.
lot. I learned a lot being out there, and I recorded that EP with the homies at Gravity Studios. Some friends I want to shout out, the homie Vlint, aka Love So Rare, Docs, he's like a graffiti artist out there, but he does music. Flip, Kid Bougie, just Vince. There's a whole bunch of homies out in Davao City. The whole Gravity Studios, Mindanao. They're really tight knit out there. They really support each other. I had a lot of realizations out there too. I'll share that, but like that
Yeah.
whole trip was just amazing, and I'm so glad that I did it. And it was so good that we did it in 2019 because the next year everything got shut down.
Yeah.
It was so
Oh man.
crazy.
Yeah, it's it's dope to have experienced the hip hop scene in the Philippines. I lived there
Wow.
for a couple years, and I saw too. It was when the flip top battle rap scene was, and it's
Shout out,
still going. It's still going strong.
right. They were
Still going
one of
strong.
the groups that put me on too. So shout out Flip Top. Thank you for mentioning them.
Yeah, so that's awesome that you got to actually like go on and do full performances out there and
Yeah.
just just tied
For
in with the
real.
scene. Okay, so that's what I wanted to clarify. So thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So even I'm just a couple standout tracks to me were the LITM track, which was dope.
Mm,
It's again, 2019 Jehzan. I could see the
right.
confidence is growing in your music, and you're talking about just happy with the direction that you're headed in life.
Yeah.
And 66 Beats, who produced that, was super
Yeah.
dope too as well. That's a friend of yours?
No, so now that like I would say right at the Island Waves and City Haze Volume 3 and the Let's Talk Davao EP, that's where I'm starting to like build relationships with producers like through
Okay.
Beat Stars and stuff. So at
Oh
that
yeah.
point, that's when I started to like buy leases for beats. And
Yep.
this is also the time that streaming started to become more popular. So it just
Sure.
made sense. And I was also growing in my career. So that was a time where I'm just like, I need to start putting these out more legitimately.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so that's where those come from. I think it was on the next album. Oh, never mind. He did a beat for another song on my other album, but like
Okay.
we're not there yet, so I'll let you
No,
just
no, it's all good. Yeah,
yeah.
and so another track that I wanted to highlight was the Chicken Joey rap, man.
Okay,
I was
yes.
like, yo, Jazan flipped it double time, right? Yeah, so I was like, oh, she could do it super well too.
Yeah.
And then you had a little shout out to Ruby on that track, but
Yes.
again, versatility, you're very good at it, and I enjoyed the double time delivery. All right, let's talk. So you throughout this whole interview, you mentioned
Yeah.
the network of people that you work with, and
Mhm.
so I noticed you are part of the Skylex label. Did I get
Yeah.
that right?
Yes. Yes.
Can you talk to me about Skylex? Are you guys based
Mhm.
out of Hawaii? Tell me who's on and shout some folks out.
Yeah, bro, it's just me and my girlfriend, me and my partner, man. We're just
Okay.
building it, grassroots.
Okay.
That is still, I feel like I've done, like, aside from my music projects, I've done a few, like, I guess you could say other projects that I feel are just part of the journey. But Skylex Records is something that we're still working to figure out what it is,
All right.
which is why I told you a few moments ago that I chose, early on to like just focus on music and stuff. So Skylex Records kind of just came about to have some sort of like house for like the Jehzan brand to kind of grow in, and hopefully as more people see us, either they want to join or they want to at least help us in their journey. So I'm literally like kind of working on the rebrand like as we speak. And so now
Oh,
I used to say we were like an independent music label, but now I see it more as like a collective, like a creative collective.
okay.
And it's starting with me and my partner. And I feel like she's also been a huge catalyst, if not the most important catalyst in all of
Absolutely.
this. Like I was just at my cousin's graduation. Shout out my cousin Kayla. She just graduated with her business degree from Eastern Washington University.
Yeah, go Kayla.
Yeah, we were in Spokane last week. And so like the speaker said something like, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go long, you go with a team. And I don't know like what, till this day I don't really know what my girlfriend saw in me when she was seeing me do all these ridiculous freestyles at open mics and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
putting out the music that you saw, and you saw the growth. But she stuck with me, and she believes in this opportunity that we have, and like I really respect her for that, because she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And so that's what Skylex Records is. And we got the names from our kids that we Hanai. Are you familiar with that term, Hanai? Like
No, I'm not. Can you share it?
oh,
Can you
okay.
share it for
So
the team?
in Hawaii, I guess the term is calabash. But in Hawaii, sometimes you have like a Hanai family. So it sometimes it means like your family literally gave you to that family. My girlfriend, like her story involves like getting Hanai'd from a family
I
here.
see.
But uh the way we take care of the kids, our nieces and nephews in our families, since we've raised them and like have been part of their lives so closely, we consider ourselves like Hanai parents, and we consider them like our Hanai daughters and sons. So
Yeah.
just Hawaii style. And the names Skylex come from our Skylar and Alexis, our two eldest
Oh, I
Hanai
love it.
daughters. And so we used to live on a hill not too far, like up in Aleva Heights. And so one of the streets is called Skyline Drive, and that just driving there, it like always like inspired us. Uh and so that's kind of where the whole vibe of like Skylex Records come, is like just reach for new heights. And it's a creative, it's a label. We're still building what it is, but it's a home nonetheless. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yo, first shout out to your girlfriend, man, for just
Yeah.
loving and supporting you. And
Yeah.
does she MC too, or is she just part of the business
No,
in general?
she's part of it. Okay, I'm gonna go off on a tangent about Hawaii hip hop. Okay, this is me like flexing. Okay, I
Let's do
gotta
it.
do it since we're here, and I feel like you'll understand what I'm saying. So you were talking to me earlier in the interview. We were talking about I would say like 2012 to 2015. This is the era of like Angry Locals. This is pre um Broke Mokes. There's a whole bunch of other guys. Punahele also started during that time with the battle rap competitions and stuff. But I want to say that, some people might get mad, but I'm gonna just say it because I'm an artist, and I'm gonna share this with you as a fan as well. It was kind of, I feel like it kind of got a little dry post the YouTube Asian era.
Okay.
So it was kind of around the time when Angry Locals kind of stopped doing their thing. And bro, props to Angry Locals. Ozna, Chris Styles, they're all
Up.
doing mocks. They're all doing their own things. DJ Technique, everybody, right? They're all doing their own respective things as like, you know, prominent figures in Hawaii's entertainment industry, and probably taking it further, right? But
Agree.
in the local underground scene, I feel like I entered in at a very good time, and I optimized and capitalized on that time. So what me and my girlfriend started doing that really, no, we didn't really see anybody doing in that 2015 to 2016, 2017 era is documenting the shows.
Yep.
On my YouTube, if you go all the way back to like, I want to say like 2015, 2016, you'll see that my girlfriend shot all of my performances
Dope.
from way back. And so through that, we started, on top of like me performing and getting better as a performer, we just started getting known for being our own little like media team, you
Yeah.
know? So, and then it just happened over time. And I was still in college too. So I had a lot of time in between like homework and stuff to blog, to document, to share on Instagram and YouTube. And so that's kind of how we got into the scene. And I feel like till this day, like from that time, that's what people have started to know me more from, is like, yes, the music, but they started to see me more as like an entrepreneur and kind of like a little media guru in my own way. So
Yeah.
yeah, because you know, as especially as a girl, like I say this all the time, like when guys do something, chances are their homies are going to start doing it. You start boxing, you're going to have friends that start boxing with you. For girls, it's different. We're more like lone wolves in many ways. Like to be a girl in hip hop, to be a girl or a woman in general, you know?
Sure.
So that's my experience. And so I'm happy that I have my partner Wolf with me to document all this. And now you see a lot more younger guys coming up. I don't think they necessarily are following me per se, but I definitely feel like I kind of started a trend, or I started a expectation that when you come to shows, you should have business cards, you should have a camera with you, or at least your phone. You should be doing promo. You should
Yeah.
interview the artists in the room or the promoters in the room. And that's what I started to do. And that's how I started my blog OTD Hip Hop. I kind of discontinued it now, but I'm keeping it as like a timepiece
Nice.
of that era, you know?
Oh, that's so dope. Yeah, and I love that you guys documented it, and you like
Yeah,
you mentioned, you capture, a time in hip hop, and
yeah,
it's a catalog that people can reference and understand who you
right.
truly are. So that's awesome. I'm glad that your girl supported you like that, and I'm cheering Skylex Records on. So I
Yes,
can't wait to
yes.
you guys further develop and do your thing, and I'll be supporting it, man. Support y'all from day one. So that's
Thank
dope.
you.
Yeah, for sure. And then I talked about like just your style in general, right? Like you went through phases in
Yeah.
terms of being adapt with like what was hot. And so I think an evident project in what I'm saying was your 2020 project, the Evolve
Mm.
Summer, right before Hollow Hollow,
Yes,
which is what
yes.
like I think you really did that with your Honolulu track, where you features
Mm.
Empress Stone, and then the
Yes.
track that you did called Dynasty.
Yeah.
Just man, it was like different. It wasn't like the hip hop that I was used to, or
Mm.
what I was like. Okay, basing my why I wanted to talk to you about your music. So I was like, dude, she just flipped it again, dude. So it was great. So yeah, check her music out. It's super dope.
Hey,
Just the
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, all the different projects, each one of them, you'll see just her at different stages, and it's amazing to watch her growth.
Mm.
So super cool. And then I love how you talk about the entrepreneurial aspect of just
Yes.
hip hop. Yeah, and so if you want to, go further in the game, you got to think about that, right? You got to be business
Absolutely.
minded. And in one particular case, man, Jay-Z serves as the
Right.
good example for that, right? So I
Right.
love how you're doing that, and your merch game is on point too.
Hey, thank
Got this
you.
new, website with merch that y'all need to go support, and that's why I had asked you about physical copies too, because I was like, man,
Mm.
I would cop one in a second, man. I'm part of the time where I had to go to shows, and you had no choice but to bring merch, right? So we didn't have like the internet at the time, so I was just going to Kinko's and photocopying,
Yes.
burning CDs. We were passing
Right.
them out or selling them. So,
Right.
but it's as we evolve, and people just send this stuff out digitally, right? So there's no
Yeah.
need for physical stuff. But I'm just stuck, like I said, I'm just an old school dude, and I'm stuck
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
having physical copies. But you're right, and I appreciate your business mindedness in
Mm.
music too. So that's so dope. It's showing a whole of artist approach in your game.
Right.
Very
Right.
mature. So yeah. So with that, All right, I always like to do this, especially when I'm
Okay,
interviewing a Filipino artist. Let's
let's do
talk
it.
about food. What's your favorite
Okay.
local Hawaiian dish?
Bro, I've really been thinking of all the questions you sent me. These are the ones I was thinking of. But I would say for like a straight up Hawaiian plate, I am a fan of, oh my goodness, I can't think of it right now, but they have a location in Waipahu
Okay.
and a location in Ward at Ward. Hold on, let me.
Oh,
I totally. Why am I drawing a blank right now?
yeah, it's
Oh,
funny.
okay. Well, I do want to highlight Helena's food because
Yep.
that's in Kalihi.
Yep.
Uh, they're
Is
just not,
lovely.
every time I go, they're busy and then they're not open like all the time. So
That's right.
that's,
They do have odd hours, right?
yeah. But I do have to say, here's what it is: Highway Inn. But personally, I prefer the Waipahu location for
Oh,
Highway Inn.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Highway Inn. Yep. My cousins like to go there all the time. So is it
Hmm.
for the mixed plate or the short
Yeah.
rib?
Yeah, me and my girlfriend, we stopped eating pork and red meat a couple years ago already,
Okay.
but we still eat chicken lao lao, fish lao
Yeah.
lao. I don't know, I love the palate that I grew up on, so I eat like squid luau, lomi lomi salmon. I get the whole works, bro. Potato salad, rice. It's a problem out here.
Oh man, Highway Inn is a dope choice for Hawaiian food for sure. All
Yeah.
right, now let's take it back to your roots, right?
Okay.
Filipino dish. What is your favorite Filipino
Mm,
dish? What did Mama used to make you that you used to love?
bet, bet. I think my quintessential Filipino dishes, when I think of Filipino food in my household, I think of breakfast. So freaking
Silog.
exactly what I said. The fried bangos, the
Yeah.
egg, onion, and tomato,
Yeah.
all fried up together, and then garlic rice, man.
Oh
Like
man.
my grandma used to my shout out my grandma. Like she used to like really throw down yeah, I feel bad because like, of course my grandparents are getting older, but because my parents were young, I feel like my grandparents were also pretty young too.
Yeah.
So I think my grandma was still like in her late 40s when she became a grandma. So I feel like I was very blessed to get to experience my grandparents like youth
Yeah.
almost,
Sure.
So like yeah, so like going fishing with my grandpa, watching him like kill chickens in the backyard
I
and
love it.
stuff.
I love it.
But yeah, I think of breakfast, but as far as like real dishes, there's a bunch, bro. But
Yeah.
if I was to pick one, it would be chicken papaya or chicken tinola.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Good,
that's
good
really
choice.
Ilocano. Yeah.
Good choice. Yeah. Hey, so any good Filipino restaurants on the island that you love?
Yes,
Which one?
yes. I will shout out the one I've been going to since I was a kid, and I'm glad that they're still in business, and I hope that they continue to
Yeah.
grow and improve their business. Shout out Telma's restaurant in
Oh,
Waipahu.
yeah. Heck yeah.
Oh
Oh,
heck
I know
yeah,
Thomas.
dude! I have
Oh,
been going there. It was kind of like the Sunday dinner after
okay.
church or like the end of the week when
Yeah,
I knew it was a good night if we ended up at Tawas,
I love it. Yeah, Thomas
Yeah,
is a spot. All
yeah.
right. Favorite
Mhm.
question. So this is the first time I get to ask this question, and I love it. All right. Hey, the two best spots to score poke at in Hawaii,
Okay.
on Oahu.
I've been thinking about this too. This is the one that had me stumped, but I do have to say my top one is Tamashiro's in Kalihi.
I haven't been there. Okay.
Whoa. Okay, so they're really old. I think they were in business since like the 50s or the 60s. They're the ones with the red crab outside
Okay.
the iconic red crab.
Man. Okay. I
Yeah,
gotta give him a
that's the
shot.
one.
Okay.
I used to work at Palama Settlement a few years ago, and so I would always walk
Yeah.
on my lunch break just down the street to Tamashiro's, and I like Tamashiro's. Their poke bowl I feel like is like the best
What?
because
Okay.
you can kind of customize it. You can get it with like sushi rice, white rice, brown rice,
Okay.
and then the way they make their ahi is not. I don't really like super thick pieces of fish, so I
Yeah.
like that it's kind of more in like almost a puree, but not really a puree.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and they put some sort of, I think it's like sesame oil. They put something in there that makes it kind of sweet, and I really like that. And then they put some garnishes. They put, I think, like seaweed on top, and then they put tegu, the cuttlefish, the dried fish on top.
Oh
Bro,
man.
that's my favorite. But my main thing, I'm gonna put you on, but like the way I feed my family on like a good beach day is we buy a bunch of poke, and we, of course, we already bring the white rice, right, in a,
Yep.
in a pot or whatever. We get the ahi from Tamashiro's, and then somebody else picks up a big ass bucket of chicken from Popeyes, and
What word? Oh,
together.
oh,
The kids they'll eat that up, like the spicy ahi, the chicken, the white rice, like at the beach and stuff.
oh man.
It's like the best. It's I spent most of quarantine doing that.
Yo, hey, that's a good point. That's actually like my go-to combo when like I'm hungry.
Right?
I go to
Right.
Foodland, get the fry. I get like a chicken
Mhm.
breast and a poke bowl, and I'm straight.
Yep.
So,
Right.
oh, I gotta do that at the beach. That's what's up.
Yes.
Okay, Tamashiro's I gotta try. I have not, and I'm upset that I
Okay.
haven't because you mentioned the puree style, and I
Yeah.
just I really like the poke at ahi and vegetable. That is
Right.
just you been to that one?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, just right by the Ross. That's my spot.
Oh, okay. So
Hitting it
I
up.
would say that ahi and vegetable, the way they make their ahi, the consistency of it, that's
Yeah.
very similar. That's a good comparison to Tamashiro's.
Oh,
Yeah,
good. So I'm gonna
yeah,
see if
yeah,
I
yeah.
can swing by there this weekend. That's dope. And then
Hmm.
Tanioka's in Waipahu, right? Is
Yeah,
legendary.
yeah,
Another
yeah,
favorite spot of mine. So
yeah.
dope. Love it. Poke. What kind of poke is your favorite?
Um, man, I feel like I always go for spicy ahi, but I feel like there's so many different now.
Yeah.
But I still love growing up, I love to eat like the shoyu ahi poke.
Yeah.
Like uh I don't know, like growing up in Filipino household, I feel like as much as I say like I am whitewashed, like not really when it comes to food though, because I be
That's what.
when I was a kid, I remember young as like maybe 7, my dad used to be like, no, you like don't eat too much poke, like it's not good for kids or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, Dad, I really want it. So
So good. Yeah.
I would like sneak a little piece onto my plate like at parties, but then all the uncles are like eating from it and stuff. So he probably just didn't want me to eat it because all the uncles who were drinking were just eating from that one poke,
It's-
container.
oh, that's so
Yeah.
hilarious. Well, hey, you guys got the secret from Jehzan, all the hot spots for poke.
Yeah.
Better check it out. Super dope. I love talking about food, so I try to weave it into the interviews always.
Yeah.
But with that, yo, so what's Jehzan working on currently? What are your
Mhm.
special projects that you got up on deck?
So to be honest, bro, like I'm always working on music. I'm always writing. It's funny that that you're talking about Hollow Hollow and all those tracks. Again, just as like a side note, Chicken Joy Rap, if you go on TikTok, bro, it has a life of its own. I didn't even know it kind of went viral. Like it kind of went viral on its own on TikTok. There's like hundreds of videos on there, specifically from like my Philippine audience that are just using it in all their clips about Jollibee and like
I love
Canada
it.
using it all over the mainland, using it all over the states. So Chicken Joy Rap, to be honest, kind of has a life of its own. Like that's that for
That's
Chicken
super
Joy Rap.
cool.
So I'm hoping I get, I'm manifesting a Jollibee collab or a Jollibee sponsorship
Do it.
soon because that song has been out for a while and it's been, it's still like relevant, I feel. So um
Yeah.
that's Chicken Joy Rap. And then um right now in sorry, I'm going off, but another side note, I went on like a mini tour to Maui back in I think 2016, and I just it was just me and a bunch of friends. went to Maui. I booked a show, and then I just decided to like capitalize off of it. So I did some like interviews out there. I did like a cypher video sort of thing with some friends out there. So this is 2016, kind of at the end of my college time. Um, and so I had a friend or a supporter or a fan after that Maui show tell me that like he's like, oh, you know, like you're I mean, I have people tell me this all the time, like, oh, you know, you're gonna blow up, like you're gonna blow up, like just keep working at it. But this guy told me, he's like, you're gonna blow up and it's gonna be off of that boom bap stuff. I think I performed oh shoot, that one song that you mentioned earlier. I think it was Reasons or one of those other songs that I performed. And oh, I think it was called Patience. I performed that song, and he
Okay.
was like, "Yeah, you're gonna blow up, dude. It's just gonna be off of that boom bap stuff. So keep like
Yeah,
working on that boom bap stuff." And it's so crazy that some years later, Hollow Hollow is like a quintessential lo-fi boom bap chill
absolutely.
project, and now that's
Absolutely.
the one that I feel like I'm taking to more people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So um, right now I'm working on new music. Like I said, it's a new era. Um, and it's funny that you also mentioned that I can go like double time, hyphy, West Coast. I feel like low key, I'm kind of going back to like that hyphy West Coast jump. I feel like quarantine, I was very intuitive, inquisitive. I went inward, woman in the mirror, quarantine blues, clockwork. And now I'm kind of back on like a little bit more of my hype stuff, which I'm glad because I was
Dope.
like, I don't want to be like, not that it's sad to write on boom bap, but like you tend to be introspective and you share stuff. And so now I'm
Yeah.
kind of like entering another new like hype era. I don't know if you heard my song like TED Talk. That's kind of a
Oh,
newer joint that's
okay. I'll have to check that out.
yeah, because I want to perform. I love performing in schools, and that's kind of where I'm at. I perform in schools, family functions, youth programs.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my niche. But at the same time, I still want to perform like in the club, and I still want to like be able to turn up at like festivals and stuff. So
That's
I
right.
am doing just natural. Like I'm not trying to, make these songs. It's just how my life has been. I'm kind of like now
That's
that we're
it.
back outside, right? I'm back on rapping about being out, growing up, hopefully growing my career and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
that's what I'm working on some new just new like West Coast and also like melodic stuff too. Like you're going to hear a lot of that on my new one. But if you want to hear my newest stuff, I would say start with TED Talk. That's
Okay.
out streaming. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um
most definitely. Oh man,
yeah.
that's exciting, man. Wow, I'm excited, and I share the same sentiment as that supporter and fan in Maui. That you're gonna,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're gonna bust out and have a showing and do real well. So I can't wait. Like I mentioned, man, I'm cheering you and Skylex Records on.
Thank
That's gonna be
you.
super fresh. Hey, tell people where they can find your music at. What's the website address, and where they can
Yes.
find your merch to support.
Yeah. Yo, it's just Exclusive, Jehzan on all music streaming platforms, on all social media. I keep it consistent, so just search me up. If it's on social media, it'll be Jehzan space exclusive. But if it's on socials, it's just all put together.
Dope. Well, with that, hey, support my girl, Jehzan Exclusive.
Hey,
Hollow Hollow EP was super fresh. That
yes.
was my introduction to her. And if you listen to it, you won't be disappointed, I promise. Well, Jehzan, hey, thank you again for taking the time to sit with me and just help me tell your story. I can't wait to share this interview, and I can't wait to hear
Hey.
some future music. Thank you.
Okay.